Thank you so much for joining our Community and Coffee this week. So as you all know, our topic today is social selling, where we'll be covering questions on how you can tactfully drive consumers to shop your products this holiday season, solidify in a data-driven way which channels are driving the most e-commerce traffic, and ultimately how to give your customers a foolproof holiday commerce experience. So before we get to all of that, if this is your first time joining, as always, my name is Madison Smith. I'm the Senior Marketing Strategist here at Aspire IQ, and I am joined by my co-host of Community and Coffee, our Director of Marketing Strategy, Magda Huala, as well as our other social media guru / a member of our marketing strategy team, Anna Gustor. Hi, guys.
Hello. I'm so excited to talk about this topic. It's been coming up a lot. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining. We've been doing Community and Coffee for several weeks now, and really just want to use this as a space to answer questions that are coming up a lot from our brand community, and social commerce came up a ton. So this is a very lofty topic. There's a lot to go over. So basically what we intend to do is cover a lot on the high level, specifically as it's going to relate to holiday strategy. But we're definitely planning on doing a longer webinar on this, probably one that will take up a full hour.
Anna, why don't you go ahead and give us a start and just give us that general overview of kind of what social selling is.
Something that I read recently in my kind of extended research of this topic is a quote from another marketing executive that said, where inspiration meets transaction, which I felt like was just such an incredible encapsulation of what this truly is, because, you know, social sites are a place that we go for inspiration, for entertainment, to, you know, make the day go by, especially in these quarantine times. But it's really kind of these social sites rising to meet their, you know, where their followers are. So, you know, they really saw this complete shift even before this quarantine of, you know, people moving from brick and mortar transactions to more online transactions. And it really was this untapped opportunity for them to really, you know, take advantage of these fans on social sites and really allow them to have products to not only check out products, but to also like purchase within the app as well. And just kind of a general note of social sites in general, you know, they really set up social sites for not only, you know, people to connect with people, but for brands to connect with their own fans and to get real-time feedback on products and to launch new products. So it really, you know, it was just a matter of time for them to kind of create that full purchase journey for these brands and consumers alike.
Yeah, I saw actually a Forbes article. The title was a little bit clickbaity, but the title was like, could social commerce eclipse e-commerce? And I think that, like, although that seems pretty far off right now, it is something that, Anna, through the research you've been doing and kind of our conversations, does seem like where the future is headed. So it is a really interesting new kind of shopping experience.
Yeah, and just one little piece too. I also read something along those lines as well of, like, you know, Instagram, as huge and successful as they are, they're, you know, eyeing Amazon, especially right now, of like just being so incredibly successful. And they're like, okay, I want a piece of that pie. So it's these, you know, these huge social giants trying to get in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with all of the updates we've seen over the years with these social platforms, they're pretty much doing whatever they can to make sure that people don't leave their platform. So this is a great tool, not only for them, but also now for brands and influencers as well. So why don't you, Magda, I'm going to go with this question to you. I think this is something that's also super important, is like, what are the most popular social commerce formats that we're seeing?
So this is a beast of a question, and I'm going to break it down and really cover this on the high level. Again, we'll dive in deeper during a webinar, but there are basically every social media giant is getting into the commerce game. We're seeing with Instagram, with Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, and TikTok is exploring it as well. So I'm going to actually just break it down into what capabilities are available across those platforms, or the ones that are most relevant to this conversation. So let's start with Facebook Shops. So this was announced in May of 2020, and this is really tailored towards small businesses, but this allows brands to basically upload collections to their Facebook shop and sell directly through Facebook checkout. So it is an experience that is entirely within the app, and it is optimized for mobile. So that is the primary way in which people are shopping on Facebook, is through their phones. So basically what you do is you would create a collection and upload this collection to your shop and then tag it. And the thing that's interesting about Facebook Shops is you don't necessarily have to upload your entire inventory. You can upload more curated shops. And when we get into a little bit more of our discussion around holiday, I'll talk about how that can be applicable. But again, this is something that we're seeing small businesses really leverage. And it's something that Facebook wanted to give people, more of a resource to promote their products in a sellable way where they're already promoting them. So small businesses a lot of times are built on social media. That's where they gather their following. That's where they gather their first customers. It makes sense that that's where they're also selling. Basically, Instagram has, over the past couple years, released different features, either in beta or full rollout, that are all under this umbrella of the Instagram shopping experience. So essentially what this is allowing you to do is shop across the app, whether it's in your in feed, video feed, Instagram stories. They provide different shopping experiences across the app. So I want to start by just sharing some stats that that Instagram directly shared. So they said that an estimated 70% of shopping enthusiasts are turning to Instagram for inspiration. And 87% of people indicate that influencers help inspire them to make a purchase decision. So again, it was a really natural transition for Instagram to say, hey, people are already here trying to figure out like what products they want to buy. They're saving a ton of posts. Why don't we mix things up where instead of just saving a post and liking it, they are just purchasing. So high level of what features are available. So the first one is Instagram Shops. This is similar to Facebook Shops. It's basically a customizable storefront directly on the app. So anyone who has Instagram right now, you guys can literally just go on your phone, go to the Explore page and hit Shops, and you'll see what brands that you follow have Instagram stores set up. I'm sure a lot of you guys on the brand side have ones of your own, but you can make a customizable storefront, and essentially you can make collections within that store, leveraging influencer and user-generated content to almost create like a warm and inviting catalog type experience. So that's one step. That's one way in which brands are leveraging Instagram for shopping. The other is shopping tags. So this is basically where you can highlight products either in your feed or in your stories, do the tap tag so people can simply tap on the post, go to the product, and check out. This is available all throughout the feed. I'm sure, again, you guys have either used it yourself or seen it where brands are leveraging those tags. The next thing that I think is super interesting is the shops being visible in the Explore page. So this is really where you can reach people that have this new product discovery mindset. So if you have a store, it's not limited to the people that follow you. When it comes to the Instagram checkout, like the tapping your post to shop, people that follow you are going to see that. If you have a store, that means that you can show up in the Explore page and basically find products or new brands that a customer may have never heard of. So it's great for new customer acquisition if you are able to, have your shop that's showing up in the Explore page.
And I'll jump in on that just because when I was reading all about these different features, it was actually in real time that they started to roll out this kind of Explore page of shop. And it's just really exciting that, just because you're a small brand, it still offers you that opportunity if you fall within like certain, segments of what people might be interested in. So like Mag just said, it functions exactly like your regular Explore page does. So based on who you follow, based on what posts you're searching for, clicking on, engaging in, it's going to populate that with like brands and like products. This incredible place of new product discovery, like Magda said.
Also, I realized that a ton of the brands that I follow have their own shop set up that I actually didn't notice. So it's a really cool feature. I would definitely encourage everyone to just check it out from the consumer perspective to see what experience resonates with you, and then translate that into how you can bring it back to the work that you're doing with the brand. Shopping from creators, this one is really interesting. So obviously our, bread and butter, our wheelhouse is around influencer marketing, and we've gotten a lot of questions around how can influencers help support shoppable commerce, which we'll get to in a second. But one thing that we're seeing is that there are select influencers that are able to make their own posts shoppable through the checkout feature on Instagram. Our initial hunch, and this is based on conversations we've had with brands and creators alike, but a lot of brands we're seeing, a lot of creators we're seeing are using this feature to leverage their own merch or their own brand, less so than, making other brands shoppable. But as the checkout feature rolls out more broadly, so creators can make their checkout page go directly to that brand versus their own website, I definitely think that this is a strategy that people will leverage more and more. But for now, yeah, a lot of what we're seeing is creators using this for their own merch. And right now, the ability to actually check out through Instagram is still in beta, so it's not rolled out across the board to every single person who has a shop or the shoppable capabilities turned on. If you don't have the ability to leverage Instagram checkout, basically what it will do is just redirect to your website, and that's where the purchase will happen. But overall, Instagram is so wildly different than it was even a couple years ago, where with every interaction you have on the app, when you're scrolling through your feed, when you're looking through stories, there is the potential to shop. So I definitely think that it's something that is worth exploring. Let's talk about Pinterest. So Pinterest has tons of shoppable capabilities. Pinterest ads, there's so much information around that, but for the sake of keeping this consistent and talking about in-app checkout, Pinterest buyable pins are something that are really interesting, especially during the holiday season. So if you have buyable pins, essentially what that will look like is there will be white dots on an image. You can tap that similar to Instagram and then see which products are shoppable and then check out directly through Pinterest. So there was actually a case study that Pinterest ran with a brand called Modern Citizen, where they were doing Pinterest checkout they were doing the buyable pins through Pinterest. So much terminology. And they actually saw a 73% uptick through Pinterest by enabling buyable pins. So it is, again, something that's really interesting and something that brands should test out, because just like with Instagram, I would say even more so than Instagram, people are going to Pinterest with the intent to purchase or with the intent to discover new products. Last two that I'll cover are Snapchat and TikTok. So Snapchat actually does have some social commerce capabilities, which I think is really interesting because it's something that has relatively flown a little bit under the radar. But two of the ones that I wanted to highlight today that I think are the most exciting are shoppable shows. So essentially it's live broadcasts where you can click out to products during the broadcast. So this is a very different shopping experience. It's not static photos. It's something that's in motion and in real time. So I think that this is really interesting for brands that, want to create some sort of sense of urgency or have more of an interactive experience. This is a really cool format to test that out. And then they also have virtual try-on features. This is something that Facebook is testing as well, but for cosmetics, for clothing. It is really interesting. I've played around with it myself, where you can kind of try on these sponsored products. So again, just adding to more of an experience around shopping when right now most of the shopping is happening online. And lastly, TikTok. So they are testing e-commerce capabilities right now. So I think they started testing in December of 2019 with the ability to have users link to e-commerce sites directly on their profiles. And then actually recently in May of 2020, they partnered with Levi's to test a new Shop Now button that would redirect from the Levi's TikTok post directly to the Levi's website. So given just the huge uptick in TikTok and how interested everyone is in TikTok, apart from some of the discrepancies happening right now with whether or not it'll be around in the United States, fingers crossed, because I absolutely love it. But TikTok is absolutely, going to become an e-commerce site. I think that there's no way around that. So many people are using the app. There's so many new customers that you can reach. So early indications show that things like a shop now button could be rolled out more widely to different brands. And I know that was a ton of information, but that's kind of an overview of the different capabilities across different platforms. I think Instagram and Facebook remain the giants here, and it's really what we've heard as feedback from our clients where people are going to test the most.
How can people or brands really easily or just in a very successful way incorporate social commerce into their existing influencer strategy?
I think on a high level, one of the biggest ways in which influencer and social commerce can go hand in hand is by continuing to have influencers drive traffic to your social media pages. So if you have really beautiful curated content on your own brand Instagram, and a lot of that content is shoppable, you want to get more followers following your page to increase the chance of them purchasing. And ultimately, this draws a very clear line between the value of brand awareness and how it impacts lower funnel. So I would say, just to keep it short and sweet, working with influencers to continue to promote your brand and ask influencers to drive traffic, or have the call to action be follow this page. I think that that's really going to be a successful way to get more eyeballs on your brand and more people that can be potential shoppers.
And then I'll kind of jump in as far as the utilizing influencer generated content, not to go off too much of a tangent, but in my previous role, I worked at this huge company that I just saw time and time again spend so much time and money on these kind of more traditional photo shoots. And it was at a time that they were just starting to dip their toe into influencer activations. And I just, immediately saw this wave of incredible content that we were getting back from these influencers. It was highly engaging, incredibly authentic, and the biggest part of it was so varied. So I just think in general, and obviously, if you guys are attending this, you probably agree with me too, that it's just this untapped resource that not only is, less expensive, but like I said, you get this really varied library to use. And, speaking specifically to shoppable posts, let's take Pinterest. You go on there, you're looking for a new couch, and you search for a new couch, and you see all of these beautiful images of people's homes, and you're looking for a new couch, but you're like, oh my god, that rug looks amazing with it, that lamp looks great with it, and then you're scrolling, and then all of a sudden you come across this image of that is clearly shot in house, it's highly photoshopped, and it just kind of like, it stands out really in a negative way. So you're really missing that opportunity to, inspire people who are searching for new products, haven't heard of you yet, or even inspire your own followers to, continue to make purchases from you. So I just think it's incredibly important to, meet your customers where they're at and continue to give them inspiration, these varied images, and make sure that you're utilizing that really incredible content library that you're getting back.
Yeah, I want to really quickly address one question that came in through the Q&A around implementing social commerce if you don't directly sell to customers but have third parties. I think that this, basically the way shoppable commerce works is it is built on whatever social commerce platform you're using, whether that's WooCommerce or Shopify or a homegrown solution. So I do think that to leverage those, you would need to have access to the retailer's e-commerce platform. But with that said, we do actually have someone that is focused on understanding kind of what this landscape does look like for brands that are not selling directly. So I will absolutely, when we're posting this on our website, we will record this, post it so you guys can listen back. We will include more information around what this looks like for people that are not selling direct to consumer.
For specifically, just because we do have holiday coming up, right now is the exact time you should be preparing if you haven't already. So how do you guys foresee brands leveraging social commerce, specifically when it comes to their holiday strategy?
So the one thing that I think is really, really interesting is testing like holiday collections. So with both Facebook and Instagram, when you're creating these shops and you're creating these curated collections, this is essentially a way for you to almost build a microsite. That's the way some brands have been talking about it. I think it was Movement Watches that says that this almost operates as a landing page of its own. But creating specific holiday collections and using these social platforms to create a shopping experience that is really missing right now. During this holiday season, a lot of people aren't able to go into stores or they're not comfortable. So having this catalog-like warm and inviting storefront on your social media page, and to Anna's point, leveraging influencer and user-generated content throughout that page, I think is going to be something really interesting. And the way you can test it now is you can test out just the traction that you're getting to your Facebook or Instagram store today to see if this is going to be a viable strategy worth really investing in during the holiday season. So you're not caught off guard if you're looking at this as one of your main drivers for sales. You want to try it out now. One thing that we're also seeing is people, they're, again, not necessarily uploading their entire inventory to Facebook or Instagram shops, but instead you can pick products that you either are looking to push this holiday season, products that perhaps are a bit older that you want to see if there's, you know, still relevance there, or just products that typically are your best sellers during the holiday time. Creating these shops and the collections around that and creating that wonderful experience, I think, is something that's really interesting to start testing now. Because I definitely do think that social commerce will spike this holiday season, since, again, more people than ever are spending time on social media. Less people than ever before are actually planning to shop in store. So this is a really great complement to whatever your existing e-commerce strategy is around the holiday season.
I would love to get both your take on where you see social commerce going in the future.
For sure. So I'll keep it quick, but obviously the main point being, I would assume that most social platforms will kind of follow suit and start to bulk up their offering of, you know, social commerce features, checkout features, all that good stuff. But something that we recently found that is really exciting is that people are even like redefining what social commerce even means. So we saw this app that you know, it's kind of like a Groupon experience. So you find a product, you can find people on the app, you can text it to your friends and like go in on like a group discount. The other thing that we're seeing, it was kind of described as like a combination of QVC and like a Instagram Live. So you can see products, you know, being displayed and played with in real time. You can ask questions live, and then of course purchase the products directly from that. So we're really seeing this like very revolutionary transition to making the online shopping experience much more interactive, much more of a group activity. And I think really in response, particularly right now, to that kind of lack of, you know, that group experience when shopping. So I think there's so many exciting things to come, and yeah, we're super excited for it.